Hello out there and welcome to Autism Anywhere. I figured I'd do something slightly different this week since we're kicking off our Walt Disney World planning video series. I figured it'd be much more entertaining to have a slideshow of some of our pictures from past trips. So not everything you see in these pictures might still be there. There's some golden oldie attractions which are no longer there, but we figured that it'd be interesting to see if there's any Walt Disney World fanatics out there. We're going to break it down into, first off, just general Walt Disney World, the basics that everyone should know before going to a Walt Disney World vacation. Next, we will have an episode about the special needs specifics, the different accommodations that are made and suggestions there. After that, we'll do some episodes on parks individually and things we recommend and things to look out for. And finally, there'll be a wrap-up of everything that we've forgotten and questions. So if you have anything that you want to have answered, feel free to add it in the comments below. So come along as we look into the Walt Disney World Resort. Now, it's important to remember that Walt Disney World is very, very big. There's 4 theme parks, multiple hotels, a shopping district. You name it, they probably have it on property. We highly recommend going with a travel agent that specializes in trips to Walt Disney World. They are experts in a lot of the things I'll be talking about here. They'll be able to help you with it. It's their job, and best of all, you don't have to pay for it because they get all their fees paid by Disney. We have a friend, Alicia Stryker, who I reached out to help me with some of the information today, who is a Disney specializing travel agent. I'll have her information in the links below. And also our friend Lara Segrest is one as well, so I'll have her information down there too. We've used Alicia multiple times and recommend her, and I'm sure Lara is just as good. This isn't sponsored in any way, they're just friends of ours, and we know that they'd be able to take care of you. I reached out to Alicia Stryker to ask her her favorite times to go to the parks currently. She recommended that early November, January, and February are the best times currently. Now, the worst times, it's best to always avoid holidays and marathon weekends. Those tend to be the busiest times in the parks. Also, October tends to be on the busy side because of all the Halloween festivities. The week before Christmas to January 4th are the absolute worst times to go. The Monday before Easter Sunday, the waits for Swiss Family Robinson Treehouse were 15 minutes, which is completely unheard of because it's essentially stairs the ride. Tickets to get into the parks are very confusing things. The best way to think about it is you buy one park, one day ticket. That's a very expensive ticket. You will have sticker shock when you see it, but adding on more days to that ticket become cheaper and cheaper to where a 4-day versus a 7-day is very little. Then you can add on things to that ticket, such as park hopping or the water parks and things like that. Park hopping allows you to go to multiple parks on the same day. Say, for example, if you went to Magic Kingdom in the morning, you could go to Epcot in the evening then. One thing that people always ask that I'll touch on here is you can't use an additional day to go to a different park the same day, if that makes sense. You can't use a day ticket to go to Magic Kingdom and then later in the day use up another day to try to get into a different park. They do catch you in that case and say, One of the biggest decisions to make is on or off property. Off-property hotels will always be cheaper, but on-property hotels have a lot of perks which we find make it worthwhile. We personally prefer to stay on property because of those benefits, but you know your family best and what will work for them. So those perks are things like extra magic hours where you can get into the park or stay a little bit later in a park every day. There's transportation. Once you get to your resort, you don't have to get back in your car. You can just hop a bus, boat, monorail, or sky bucket to get to and from your destinations. Transportation to and from the airport, which is called Disney's Magical Express. A benefit to that is once you check your luggage at your departure location, you don't touch it again until it shows up in your room. More perks are a slightly earlier window to book dining reservations and a much larger window to book fast passes. So going into fast passes are Disney's answer to waiting in line. It gives you a date and time for a ride where you can just go up, scan your ticket or your wristband, and get in a much shorter line. On property, you can reserve fast passes 60 days prior to your check-in date, but if you're off property, you can only book 30 days out. Another thing that can require reservations is dining. There are 3 types of dining location at Walt Disney World. There's the table service, the counter service, and snack locations. Table service is what it sounds like. It's your sit-down meals or buffets and all character meals. There's the counter service, which is a typical fast food location. There are those 3 specific levels of locations because of the Disney dining plan. There are options if you have a package where you can basically prepay your food. There's the counter service dining plan, which includes 2 counter service meals and multiple snacks a day. There's the basic dining plan, which is a table service and a counter service and a snack per day. And there's a deluxe dining plan, which is way too much food and very expensive, so I would just kind of ignore that one. Table service reservations can be made 180 days in advance, and resort guests have an additional 10 days to make those reservations. Basic suggestions: it's very important to plan. As soon as you know that you have a time that you want to go to Disney World, go ahead and book it so you can make reservations, make your fast passes, or preferably have your agent do those for you, and just to read up on the parks and what you want to do. Ask your group of what they expect out of the vacation, what rides they want to ride, if they want to have a relaxing slow time versus go and see as much as possible, and try to tweak your schedule to fit that. Midday is the busiest time in the parks. We recommend getting there right at the beginning of the day and at rope drop, as they call it, and doing things up until about lunch, and then taking a break back at the hotel, coming back maybe before dinner, and seeing it at nighttime. Be sure to keep in mind heights. I believe the height limitations vary on some rides between 44 to 52 inches. Check those online so your kids don't get their hopes up about riding certain rides when they're not tall enough, and don't try to fudge it with tall shoes. It's there for their safety, remember. And be sure to have fun with the process. Planning your vacation can be just as much fun, going through the different restaurants and looking at menus. You can extend the feel of your vacation a little bit farther. Our next episode will be dealing with the specifics of special need travel. It was important to just get those basics out of the way so you know, oh, okay, so that's what he's talking about with FastPass, and there are certain things that will build off of that to help you if you have a special needs individual traveling with you. So look for that in our next episode. I hope you were entertained by this. As you can tell, we like talking about Disney in our family. We will see you soon. Bye-bye. She said thank you, Pluto.
look at him pull out his ears like that. His ear. Like his nose. Good dog. Yeah, you're doing it too. That's silly.
Be gently. Be gentle. Cars, be gentle. Be gentle. Pluto, I want to tell you thank you so much. You've made us so happy. He's saying things and gave me a kiss afterward, and he doesn't do that. So thank you, Pluto. Let me give you a hug. Thank you. Bye.